Welcome to My Chinese Business, podcast number 7. Hi there, my name is Sean. Chinese name Xiaowan, I'm Xiao Yuan, and I have some great news. I just finished writing an ebook. If you'd like it, you can now sign up for the newsletter and it'll be sent to you for free. Just go to my website, mychinesebusiness.com, and the sign up sheet for the newsletter is in the column. And I have some great news. I'm going to talk about a little bit about the newsletter today, or the ebook, and just some of the stuff that's covered in it. So first off, this ebook is mostly written for a little bit for everyone. It has a little bit for anyone that's interested in doing business in China, for traveling, for working, and it talks a lot about the culture. And the part about the culture can be applied to anyone there. I mean, even if you want to date someone in China or find that special someone, there's a little section in that for it. So right now in this podcast, I'm going to go into detail. I'm going to list a few of the subjects that's in the ebook, and then I'm going to really talk specifically on one, and that is paying the dinner bill. So first, let me go down the list of some things that are covered in it. To start off, it starts with 10 things that I noticed when arriving, then a little introduction to China. It also has a little bit of an introduction to myself, just for anyone there that doesn't know who I am. Talks about which is better, buying food on the street or in the store. Also, China and spare change. This has to do with the culture and people not using credit cards, such as in the West, to buy things, how everything is cash in hand. Which is actually very interesting if you think about it. When you go to the store and you'd like to purchase something and you don't have the exact amount, I mean, in the US you just use your credit card. So it doesn't really matter if it's a little more than what you thought it would be. But if you're using cash only and if it's a little more, you have to make decisions. You have to make sacrifices on the spot. Also, China and gifts. So there's certain gifts that you can't give to people, and you shouldn't. I'll just mention one right now. For example, yellow flowers. If you have a girlfriend, I actually learned this one the hard way. I'm dating this one Chinese girl, and I wanted to buy her some flowers, and I went to a flower store, and I asked the lady what she recommended, and she pointed to some red roses, and I looked at the red roses, and they were all dying, and then there's some beautiful, beautiful yellow flowers. I don't know exactly what they're called, but they were brand new, fresh, and I said I would like those. She didn't tell me anything. She didn't say that's a good idea, that's a bad idea. Nothing. She just said, okay. I purchased them. I gave them to my girlfriend, and the moment I gave them to her, she got really mad at me. She kept saying, why? Well, I had no idea what she meant. I just thought, well, I wanted to give you a gift. I thought it'd be nice, thought it'd be romantic, and she got very upset with me. And she started yelling at me. And then finally, after a while, she informed me after I told her that, I just meant it to be romantic, that in China, if you give a girl yellow flowers, it means you're breaking up with her and you just want to be friends with her. So that was a lesson I wish someone had told me before I went to China. But for all you people that are listening to this podcast, you know it now, so you won't make the same mistake I did. Also, there's a section on Chinese superstitions, and then there's some bonus material. And this bonus material is talking to Chinese girls and dating in China. Why is it bonus material? Well, when I originally wrote the ebook, it wasn't included, and then someone made a suggestion to me, Sean, you should really add this section. I think a lot of people would be interested in it, and if they really are, you could later write an ebook just on that one topic, along with any of the other topics in there. So I agreed. So there's a section at the back for particularly dating in China from a Westerner's point of view, how to go about meeting the girl and places to go. Just a brief little thing, couple pages. So right now I'm going to talk more in detail about paying the dinner bill. I think that'd be a good bonus for anyone if you're going to travel there, work there, just about anything. So how does the whole dinner thing work? Well, if you're the guest of honor, and you most likely will be being the foreigner. You don't really have to worry ever about paying. But if you do want to pay or chip in, there's certain kind of order in which people decide who gets to pay. So to start off, here's some things you should know. The person with the highest paying job is the one that normally pays. But this only goes up to a certain level. And I'll go into more detail about that later. Next, students are normally exempt from paying. So if one person has a job and everyone else is still in college, that one person with the job will pay for everyone. And that's one thing that is very interesting in China. They really don't like each person paying for themselves. They don't like separate checks. They just like one person paying everything at a time. And they figure that I pay now, you pay later, he pays next time, things like that. Everything will equal out, everything will balance. So a student, is normally exempt from paying, but then once that student gets a job, then that student will pay. Or he gets a job, there'll be a celebration for him getting a job, and then he'll have to pay. Or things in that nature. So everyone thinks it balances out. If you're unemployed, you're normally exempt. Sometimes people, if the person had a good job before, they'll expect them to still pay, but normally, don't have to worry. If there's a guy at the table, and it's all girls, normally the guy pays for everyone. So even if there's 3 or 4 girls, he's not dating any of them, he'll still feel obligated to pay. Even if they have jobs and he's a student. It's just kind of a cultural thing that the guy's expected to pay for the girls. If there's couples, you and your girlfriend, your friend and his girlfriend, if you guys go together to get some for dinner, normally one guy will pay for everyone at the table still. If not, sometimes there'll be a little bit of an argument and each guy will pay for his own date. You'll hardly ever see a girl even make the attempt or make it look like they're even going to try to pay. But is this always the guy's money, though? This is actually a thing that's very interesting. The girls want everyone to believe that the guy is paying for them. Think about this for a second. They want everyone to think that the guy is paying for them. In many instances, well, not many, but there are some, the girl actually has more money than the guy, especially if they're students. This could happen because the parents are the ones that give the kids the money because they're working or they're studying full time. They don't have jobs. So maybe the girl's parents have better jobs and want to give her more money. You never know what the situation is. So in some times, the girl will, before going to dinner or before going out, give the man money or her boyfriend money to use to pay for the meal. This actually happened to me on a few instances where I was there working and my girlfriend wanted to go to this one time, a very, very nice restaurant to celebrate New Year's. It was the top of a hotel. And to get in there, the drinks were very expensive. You had to order a drink, so it was like $15 a drink for a drink that you could buy at the store for 20 cents. A bottle of beer. It was ridiculously expensive. It was an all-foreigner hotel at the top. You could see all of Beijing. You could see the fireworks. Very beautiful. She really wanted to go. I told her, I'm sorry, I don't have the money right now to do that. If you want to, I'm sorry, we could wait, but then there wouldn't be fireworks. So it was kind of that situation where, I'm just sorry, I can't pay for you. But she said, I'll pay. I said, fine. On the way walking there, after we got off the subway, this was completely unexpected to me. I didn't even know. She handed me her money. I said, what are you doing? She goes, you have to pay for me. I was kind of surprised. I was like, well, no, you said, you'd pay. It's okay. You just hold on to the money. And then, if the bill comes, and she got all upset, she said, no, you have to pay. So I took her money. And when the bill came, it was, like 200 renminbi, which isn't a ton of money. It's, what, 30 US dollars, maybe? Yeah, I know, not the most, but for there, that's a big amount of money. I mean, 200 RMB just for 2 drinks. That was it, just 2 drinks. Those same 2 drinks you can get at most restaurants for a total of 20 RMB, or at a store for 5 RMB, 4 RMB. So just, that's the markup. And I paid the money, and then when we're in the subway going back, I gave her change. She didn't even count it. She just put it in her wallet because she'd given me more than 200 RMB. She'd given me a couple hundred RMB, and then that was it for the date. And this had happened on a couple of occasions after that, when she said, "I'll treat you. You had a bad day today. Do you want to go out to get dinner? I'll treat you." And I said, "Oh, fine." But before we get there, she'd either hand me, a little money or put it under the table. And whenever she'd do that, I would always tell her, "No, you don't have to. Don't worry about it." But she'd want to because she offered it. So yeah. So when guys do pay, it may not always be their money, but everyone wants it to be seen that the guy is paying. Okay, next, if it's someone's birthday, they'll pay for everyone. Now, I have many European friends, and that's actually very common in Spain, and that the person's birthday, they treat everyone. But I know in the U.S., we're accustomed to, if it's your birthday, everyone treats you to dinner. So if you go to China and someone invites you to dinner, it's a big deal, because that could be the best meal, for that person for the whole year, and they'll often spend a good amount of money on that birthday dinner. It won't be a short dinner either. There'll be a lot of dishes, normally a lot of drinking. I mean, it'll be a couple hours, and yeah, so they'll pay for everyone. Okay, if the person just got a job, they'll treat everyone. If the table is all guys, and whoever takes the money out first normally ends up paying. Now this is kind of interesting because people actually start fighting over who gets to pay the bill. So if the waitress walks up, or actually you'd normally say "Maidan," bill for the check to arrive, everyone quickly takes out money to pay because everyone wants to be the one that pays the bill in most situations. There's a couple of tricks to get around this if you want everyone to think you want to pay but you don't actually want to pay. I'll give you one of those tricks right now. The waitress will take the money, well, 3 instances. She'll take the money that's closest to her. She'll take the money out of the guy's hands if a girl and a guy both try to pay. And she'll take the money that's closest to the right amount. So if the bill comes and it's for 60 renminbi, let's say, and you have 100 renminbi and someone else has 70 renminbi, 50 and a 20, she'll take the 70 renminbi. So if you want everyone to think you want to pay, hold out the 100 after you see the person with the 70, and you could even get it closer to the waitress if you want. She'll normally take the 70 over the 100. Another thing that normally happens, if you actually really do want to pay, is when you see the waitress come in, or when people are close to being finished eating, to just walk up to the counter and quickly pay. Now, I've actually seen a couple instances where one person will walk up to the counter, and then another man at the table will see that and quickly stand up and run over to the counter to pay, and then there'll be a little push-and war going on. Or sometimes there'll be a little push-and war happening at the dinner table itself, where the person will slap the other person's hand or push the other person's hand down and hold up their money and try to shove it into the waitress's hands. Sometimes the waitress will even hold someone's money. The person will come grab that, put his money in, hand the money back to his friend, and they'll get in a little argument. I mean, some of it's just, I don't want to owe the other person a favor. If he pays now, I'll owe him something later. Some of it's just, you are a good friend, and I really want to show you how much I respect you, how I value your friendship. Sometimes it's, I'm having such good luck right now with work. I know you're struggling. Let me pay. There's a lot of reasons why this little fight may occur, but it's all very interesting. Another thing that's interesting is, I talked about whoever had the best job normally pays. that happens up to a certain level. And what I mean by that is, if everyone at the table has a very good job and is very important, normally it's the least important person that pays. Because in some way it's an honor for that person to be at the same table with everyone. So if you're that important, really money doesn't mean anything to you, because everywhere you go people treat you, people pay for you. I remember I was at this one dinner and I was the guest of honor, and the person sitting to my left at the table, he was very important. He was in the government of the city I was in at the time. It was in Tengzhou. And he walked in. We all sat down. Everyone at the table, they were all higher up in the government. And the lowest person, the one at the very other end, he was the one that at the very end, no one even suggested it to him. He just kind of knew. He got up, went outside, paid the waitress. That was it. No one complained. No one said anything. The person to my left, actually halfway through the meal, just said, I have to go now. Got up and left. No one even said, oh, please stay longer, sit down. It was pretty interesting. And what was actually very interesting about it was he kind of dictated what everyone drank and when. So, for example, one person didn't want to drink any alcohol, and he just said, oh, you can have a drink with me. And the person didn't even argue. He said, oh, okay. And that was it. For me, I didn't want to drink that much either, and the lady had poured some baijiu for mine. I said, oh, no, I'd like a beer instead. And he said, finish that first. And that was it. The waitress didn't even listen to me, didn't even pour me any beer. He just said that, and that was it. That was the law. It ended right there. It was very interesting. So, in that case, the lowest person would pay for the meal, but that low person is still very important socially and in the business sense of everything. So that's just one of the topics that I do cover. I talk a little bit more about the bill paying in the ebook. And to get that ebook, all you have to do is sign up for the newsletter at mychinesebusiness.com, and you'll be able to download it instantly after you sign up. And I hope everyone enjoys it, and I'll talk more about it maybe again on the website. There's a ton of information, and you can access the podcast, some YouTube videos, the newsletter, and there's just a lot of stuff on it. And please contact me for any questions at Shawn, SHAWN, at mychinesebusiness.com, or use the contact sheet on the website. And I'll talk to everyone soon. All right, take care. Thank you. Bye.